Jai Gurudev, everybody. So, it's nice. I don't know what to tell you today. We had, like every day, we are cooking together and really enjoying the time here in Vrindavan, actually. Because Swami Revati and Rishi Akash is giving courses on Bhagavad Gita, and the Mauritian people, which is here, we are cooking together nicely, Swami Parantapa also. And thinking also of all of you, So, I will see which question Swami Revati have. Yesterday was really sweet, the question from that 9 years old. I was thinking about it last night. I was laughing about that. So, please, Swami Revati.
Guruji, who is your favorite or most beloved saint, and what message about their life can inspire us on our spiritual path?
You see, it's quite difficult to say which saint is my favorite, because each saint, they are unique, and each saint have a different inspiration to bring. So if I will say one saint is my favorite, I will say in the Christian, Saint Nicholas is my favorite saint. And what the message he brings is that the caring for others. And in the Hindu tradition, it's quite difficult because all of them are very sweet and dear. But when we look at the life of many of these saints, what we learn from them is that surrender, that single-pointed minded devotion that they have to the Lord. So it's quite difficult to say. For me, Mirabai is very dear to me, and Tukaram, Chokamela, and so on. There's so many names to say, which is quite difficult to see. And also one thing, if I will say, I prefer one more than the other, which means I am comparing the saints. This is not about comparing the saints. It's about getting inspired about their life, how they surrender to the Lord, how they surrender to Bhagwan, and how Bhagwan become in the daily life itself alive. Yesterday night, we were watching together with the people the story of Savatamali. So beautiful story about his life. How this saint, which lived only 30 kilometers from Pandharpur, but have never been to Pandharpur. They asked him, why you have never been to Pandharpur? Why you have never went to have darshan of the Lord? He was smiling and said, everything is for the Lord himself, Everything is for Vitthala. And I see Vitthala in the plant. This garden, this field which I'm looking after is for Vitthala himself. And he said to his parent, one day Vitthala himself will come to me. And this is so beautiful to see how Bhagwan act a certain leela to go to his devotee. There were Namdev and Gyaneshwar Maharaj. They were very dear to Bhagwan. Every day they were eating and talking to Vitthala. So one day Vitthala said, you see, you think, because in their mind they think that they are great devotee. In the mind they think that, oh, Bhagwan have come only for them because he is visible to them. So the Lord knew what was inside of their mind, and he wanted to teach them a lesson. And he said to them, listen, don't think that you are too great. There is somebody else which is even greater than you, and that is Savatamali. And they have never heard of Savatamali. They were wondering why Bhagwan is saying that he is so great. So the Lord started running towards Savatamali. So as he reached the place of Savatamali, Vithala said, he went directly to the field of Savatamali and said to Savatamali, please save me, because behind me there's two thieves who want to rob me. Can you save me? Savatamali recognized him. It is Vitthal. He said, how can I save you? You are the Lord of the universe. Everything is abided by you. How can I save you? Where can I hide you in this world where you are not present? Then Vitthal said to him, if you don't, I will go somewhere else. He said, no, Bhagwan, you have come to me and I was waiting for you all this time. I will hide you. There's only one place that I can hide you. So he took his sickle and he cut himself open. And he said, Bhagwan, please hide yourself inside of me. And Vitthal went inside the stomach of Savatamali. As he entered the stomach of Savatamali, miraculously closed, but a little bit of his dhoti, yellow dhoti, was left outside. And when Gyaneshwar and Namdev Maharaj was looking, they were following the smell. You see, the smell of tulsi was everywhere. And they saw the footprint of the Lord. So they come to Savatamali and they saw the footprint stop there. And they were wondering, how come? Then they asked Savatamali, have you seen Vithala? Then there was a deity of Vithala. Savatamali pointed to the deity. He said, yeah, he is standing here. Then they said, no, we are not talking about the deity. We are talking about Bhagwan himself. He have come this way. And this is his footprint. And his smell is so strong coming from everywhere here. There's such a smell of tulsi. So he was wondering, where is he? And then Savatamali said, well, Bhagwan is everywhere. There is no place that he is not present. Then they ask him, beg him, please tell us. Then they noticed that a little bit of his dhoti was left outside. And they said, he's hiding inside of you. You see, Bhagwan is hiding inside of everybody. We just need some time to recognize him inside of us. Once we recognize that he is the one which is seated inside of our heart, there is no judgment on anything, on anyone, Then he become one reality. But he is omnipresent, he is everywhere. That's what he said in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 30. Those who recognize me as Adi Bhuta, Adi Yagna, and Adi Deva, at that time, even of the time of death, they will attain me. They'll come to me. So those who recognize me as Adi Bhuta, I am the Lord of the elements, the Lord of everything which is material. I'm beyond this material reality. Those who recognize me as Adi Deva, I'm the Lord of all the senses, the sense organs. I'm the Lord of the Devas, which prevail within this body itself. And I'm the Lord of sacrifice. What we sacrifice is that transformation of the mind, the intellect, and the sense organ itself. We transform it, We offer it as sacrifice to the lotus feet of the Lord. So those who recognize me and that attain me. So those saints who have recognized the Lord in each of the elements, in themselves, in each person which is around them, they are the saints which is dear to Bhagwan himself. So how would you recognize one saint is better than the other? You can't recognize a saint like that. Because very often the saints, due to their humility, they like to hide themselves. Later on, when their life passes on, we hear the beautiful story about their life. And this story has been given to us as a reminder, that these people have attained the Lord. If they have attained, everybody are called to attain Him. And in a very simple way, you see. Bhagwan is not complicated. Those who remember me, at the time of death, or remember me continuously, because to remember Bhagwan only on the time of death, it's not an easy thing. We have to remember Him continuously. We have to make Him part of our life at all time. Then He becomes one's reality. So all the saints are dear to Him, and all the saints are dear to me, because they are my friends, So how can they not be dear to me? How can I say this one is better than the other when all of them have surrendered their life to God?
Guruji, more than any message, in the last few years, I constantly hear you reminding us to be grounded and that you don't like fantasy. What does it mean to be grounded from your point of view?
Who asked this beautiful question? You see, on the spiritual path, like I've been saying in the past few days also, I've been saying it many times. You see, you're born here in this world. Why? Firstly, we have been given a human body where our both feet are on ground. If you are healthy and everything, both feet are on ground. So, to start fantasizing things and start creating things in your mind will make you lose ground. Doesn't mean that you start levitating, but lose ground in the mind itself. Then you start to make yourself more important. You start flattering yourself, because self-flattering is what people look for. Very often, people like people to look at them in a certain way. They like to be in the good books of everybody. When you're in the good books of everybody, then you feel good about yourself and you feel good how people are looking at you. There's two things of what I said. You see, you can't make everybody happy. Because within thinking of making everybody happy, there's one person that will always be unhappy. That is you. Because in that fantasy, you think that you are happy. No, you will never be happy. Sooner or later, the reality will catch up with you. Then what? There is a dear devotee. Very often I have noticed something in her life. She likes to tell people everything what the people want to hear. And yes, you see, years goes on, that fantasy is accumulated. But the reality and fantasy is two opposite reality. On the spiritual field, when I say grounded, means you have to be genuine. You have to be real. Firstly, with yourself. Otherwise, you will always be unhappy. And the second is to expect everybody to be happy with you. It will never happen, because there will always be somebody which will not be happy with you. So, like that, nowadays you will see, when karma catch up, in so many ways, karma will catch up. This is the reality of things. No? So when karma is catching up, who will become unhappy? Who will be the miserable one? Only you will be the miserable one. And you will be the only one which will be unhappy. That's why, you see, when you are grounded, which means you're doing your dharma, you're doing your duty with full awareness that whatever you're doing for God. And that you should enjoy and not be in fantasy, You should meditate upon the Leela of the Lord. But to meditate upon the Leela of the Lord doesn't mean that you are in the Leela of the Lord. You can take this as an example. That's why when we look at the life of the saints, they are so humble, but they never want to publicize about themselves. They never want to put themselves, oh, look at me, I am the greatest one. No. They consider themselves unworthy. Yesterday there was this question itself, which I answered. So like that, humility is very important. It's not in the eyes of people. Firstly, look at yourself and ask yourself this question. What is my relationship with God? It's not about somebody else come and tell you. Continuously have told you, and as a reminder always, it's not about me coming and tell you that. You should know it by yourself. The Guru will guide, the Guru will be there, always. But you should start analyzing yourself individually and really open up your heart, open up your mind, open up your intellect, and see really, is your relationship with God a fantasy or a reality? How you will know that? Because if it is a fantasy, there will be always unsureness inside of you. And to fulfill this unsureness, you will always tell the story to other people so that the people can acknowledge your own fantasy. Very often you will see that in the spiritual field. People like going around telling the story. But if it is sincere, you will sit down and meditate upon it and keep it inside of you. You don't need acknowledgement from XYZ, except the Guru. But you are not in delusion. So, analyze yourself really. And enjoy the presence of the Lord at all time. Like I said yesterday, you don't need external sign. What He have given you, your life itself is a miracle. The change of your life itself is a miracle. From what you were before and how you are now. You don't need really any other sign. Look at your life itself. How beautiful is your life? How wonderful your life have become. How dear He have made you to Him. And ask yourself this question. Am I the same person how I used to be? Or am I a different person? And that is your answer, which you have to answer yourself.
Dear Guruji, can you tell us about the auspiciousness of the Vedic chants, the 5 Suktams and the Vishnu Sahasranama? Why do you recommend for us to chant them?
The Sahasranama is a thousandth name of the Lord Himself. Chanting of the name of the Lord is a reminder of His great quality in our life. Thousands of quality which He have given to the devotees, which He have made Himself accessible, which He have keep reminding, please take any of these names, focus your mind upon it and chant. You know? So that's why the Sahasranama is very important. To chant it on Saturday especially, because the Saturday is the day of the Lord Himself. The Panchasuktam is the praises of Mahalakshmi, Bhudevi, Sri Devi, Neela Devi. These are the consort of Sriman Narayana. Purusha Suktam, Sri Suktam, where we sing His glory. We are reminded of their glory, what they bring to us, how Mahalakshmi bring her blessing of abundance, so that we can be at peace, focusing on our spiritual path. But abundance doesn't mean material only, but the spiritual abundance, because Mahalakshmi is always sitting at the feet of the Lord. She reminds us where our mind must be, at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. Bhudevi, how wonderful is this mother, which cares so much for her children, which give freely everything, but yet very often how ungrateful human being is. But sometimes she have to shake herself, and as a reminder, she have to go through the pain of seeing all her children dying. Which mother would like that? Look at Mother Earth now. She is suffering. Other mother, she is suffering. In ancient Vedic time, we hear how Bhudevi will go to Sriman Narayana, please save me. But do you think Bhagwan, she's not doing that? When we chant, we are reminded of that. How grateful it is to be here on this planet. How grateful it is to be here as a human being. How grateful it is to be a devotee of the Lord Himself, and how He cares for us. And Neela Devi and Narayana Suktam, Purusha Suktam, is all the other reminder of why we should chant it, is to show our gratitude to Bhagwan Himself. Show our gratitude that the much that He have given us, we can at least in a little way remember Him and be gracious about His blessing as abundance, as Mother Earth, as Neela Devi. That's why we chant this.
Guruji, the Bhagavatam tells us that the gopis left their duties as wives and mothers to be with their beloved Krishna, and that no one could stop them. What can these stories teach us today, as we are also mothers and wives, and of course we all feel the deep and sincere longing to be with you and to run to you. But if we leave these dharmas as mothers and wives, surely that is not good. So what to do?
That's true. But Bhagavad also tells the gopi were doing their duties, as wife to their husband, as mother to their children. But their mind was always absorbed in their beloved Krishna. They didn't just leave and run away. You see, when it comes to a point that your heart can't hold anymore, you can't resist anymore, there's this longing, there's this pull, then you can go. Then your duty is finished with this reality. There's no way of looking backward. It's only looking forward. But Bhagwan didn't say that. You see, in the Bhagavad, he said that whatever they were doing with their mind focused on the beloved Krishna. So in serving their husband, they were thinking in their mind they are serving Krishna. They're having their own children. In their mind they were thinking they were serving Krishna. Milking the cow is for Krishna. So whatever they were doing, it was only to give pleasure to only one person. That is Lord Krishna. That doesn't mean that they were not cooking their food. That doesn't mean that they were not feeding their child. They were doing everything. But their mind was on Krishna. The same it is today. That have not changed. You know, it is a reminder that whatever we do in our life, our mind must be on the Lord Himself, on Bhagwan Himself. But the moment we forget about that, our ego, our pride take over. So it's not about running, leave your duty and running, but combine your spirituality. Bring your mind as a reminder when you're doing japam. You know, it's not about just live and just do. No. Do your duty, chant the name of God. Work and worship. You know, Saint Benedict of Nursia said it, you know, and many other saints have said it. Not only him, but also Savatamali himself. That was his motto also. But work and worship. So you have to do your duty, but time to time, remind yourself that whatever you're doing is for the Lord Himself. And if you can't do that, at least at night, before going to bed, you see, in ancient times, they used to kneel down. You will see that in the movie nowadays, you know, sometimes you see it. The children will kneel down, the parent will tell them, please pray. And they will say, thank you, Lord, for this beautiful day which you have given us, and so on. You know, I don't remember too much about it. But what you can do is similar. You don't need to kneel down. Just before going to bed, close your eyes. Think of Guru and God and say Krishna Arpan. Offer that day to the feet of the Lord and Guru. That will be enough. So that will bring also, you see, all of us together. So physically, whether we are close or not, look, you are in the world, I'm here in Vrindavan. But spiritually, in our heart, we are all connected. Now, this reminds me of a beautiful story. You know, nowadays you see everybody is talking about social, what do you call this?
Social distancing.
Yes, social distancing. You know, well, for not spreading the virus, of course, physically is important. But in our heart to heart, we can't be distant. Because in our heart we are connected. Through love we are connected because there's no space, there is no time that can separate that. You know? Our relationship are together. There's this beautiful story. There was one of the coldest winter, and many animals were dying. Just like right now, many people are dying everywhere. So all the animals were dying. There were the porcupines, you know. For sure you have heard this story. I have told it once maybe. So there were the porcupines. You know the porcupines, they're like a bowl full of needles, you know, quills. How do you call it? Quills, huh?
No, like
needle.
spikes.
Spikes. So all the porcupines decided to come together through their body heat they keep themselves warm. But there was a problem. The spike was spiking each another. So after some time, they decide to detach, to separate with each other. When they decided to separate and keep away, what happened? They start dying. Then they came back again together. In spite of the spike hurting each another, but they come together to keep each other warm. And that become their strength. That become what make them alive. So right now we are talking about distancing. Yes, physically be distant, but in your heart, don't get distance. In your heart to heart, remind yourself that you are a human being. You are a ball of love. And love is a warm feeling, but connect. Whether you are physically present or you are distant. Just let us all connect with that love. And really, there's no distance. So, Jai Gurudev, everybody.